I often think back on the things my mother always used to say, and Mama said there'd be days like this. My mother always used to say, use your inside voice. Back when my world was carpet and corners, knees bruised purple, palms sticky with wonder, crying felt catastrophic, and bedtime felt like betrayal. My mother always used to say, hold my hand. And I didn't know that was training for trust, for crossing streets, for believing someone bigger than me was watching out for the traffic. My mother always used to say, share. Back when sharing meant toys, not time, not truth, not the little pieces of yourself you won't ever get back. My mother always used to say please, say thank you. And I thought it was manners, not even realizing she was teaching me how to move through the world without cutting people on the way by. In my primary school years, my mother always used to say, do your best. Not be the best, just do your best. I didn't even hear the difference until much later in life, laughably. My mother always used to say, finish what you start, while tying sneakers, while signing homework, while quietly modeling endurance without ever even naming it. My mother always used to say, tell the truth, even when it's uncomfortable, especially then. And I learned early that honesty has weight, but lies have interest value. And then in middle school, when the world started watching back, my mother always used to say, you don't have to follow everyone, you know. Like if they asked you to jump off a bridge, would you do it? As if peer pressure were some weather system you could choose not to stand in. But my mother always used to say, be kind. Not soft, not weak, kind. Which I later learned takes far more backbone than cruelty ever did. Then in high school, when everything felt urgent and permanent, my mother always used to say, this won't matter forever, you know. This too shall pass. I didn't believe her because pain always thinks it's historic. My mother always used to say, choose your friends carefully. And I thought she meant popularity, not proximity, not values, not who you become when you're not performing or no one's performing for you, not your safety, not your heart. I often think back on the things my mother always used to say, not because I'm stuck in the past, but because the past keeps showing up with better timing than the present. Somewhere between then and now, those sayings stopped sounding so simple and started sounding expensive, extremely expensive, like wisdom you only afford after you've paid for it in full 4 times over with interest. My mother always used to say things that felt small at the time, but now time showed me they were load-bearing. My first memory isn't even a sentence, it's a scene. 4.5 years old, feeding her ice chips, watching my brother arrive in this world in our home. Steam in the air, my father steady, my hands very small, but trusted and ready. I helped cut the cord, I helped wash him. I didn't know then that my mother always used to say, we take care of each other, long before she ever said it aloud. Life begins in such vulnerability, and love shows up anyway, every day, all day. And then my sister turned 16, and silence learned our address, as her heart valve failed and sleep didn't wake her. And suddenly, we take care of each other stopped being a saying and became a survival. Because my mother always used to say, we'll get through this. You'll get through this. We're gonna be okay. She didn't shout it. She demonstrated it for me. She didn't preach it. She held it closer to reinforce the lesson. Because I remember my mother always used to say, life isn't fair. She didn't say it bitter. She said it practical, like a weather report. No drama. Just dress accordingly, son. When she lost her voice here in Puerto Rico, on a paradise vacation, we thought it was nothing. We dismissed it as laryngitis, bad timing, life being life. But it wasn't. A tumor the size of a golf ball becomes a tracheotomy as the teacher of children learning to speak without sound. And I remember thinking, dark humor here doing is what it does best. Of all the people to lose her voice, why must it be a woman who taught the world how to use theirs, who taught me how to use mine? Because my mother always used to say, strength isn't loud. I didn't even understand until she proved it to me. Strength doesn't always look strong. And by my senior year, she was gone. The end of October was the end of my love, the end of my heart. 18 years old, and suddenly every lesson became some finished sentence. No edits, no revisions, no updates, no more. Discontinued. College came, but that voice in my head was no longer new advice. It was an echo. It was pain. Because my mother always used to say, you know what to do. Which is a beautiful thing until you're alone and knowing that's your only option left. My father stayed broken, but present. 7 bypasses, pacemaker, defibrillator, dialysis, 20 years of borrowed time, mornings, pain, courtesy of a war that never even asked his name. He took care of me, and then we took care of him, just like my mother taught me. Because my mother always used to say, that's what family does. No slogans, no speeches, just showing up until the lights go out. For better, for worse, through sickness and in health, till death do us part. And now that I'm older, an uncle, a father, a fool, and the irony hits its hardest here as I hear myself saying the things I don't even ever remember memorizing. Be patient. Pick your battles. Would you rather be right or would you rather be happy? Is that so important? Say you're sorry first. Call when you get there. Get the fuck out of here. What are you doing? Why? Pause. And then I realized my mother always used to say, and everything she always used to say was never about remembering her voice or what it sounded like. It was about who we'd become when she wasn't here to say it anymore for us. It was about becoming the place her voice could have been and living in that place with grace, with dignity, with a face you can show to the world. Because sometimes I laugh, and sometimes I cry, and sometimes I rage. Because my soul is in a cage, misunderstanding what the message was all along. Life may be cruel enough, but do you deserve it? Sometimes I choke up because memory is this muscle and it just tightens without warning. But I always remember my mother always used to say, you're stronger than you think you are. And like a star, that message shines down on me, not because you don't break, but because you keep choosing not to stay broken. If there's a sky I can't always see, I do know this because my mother always used to say. She taught me how to look up without denying the clouds. She taught me how to carry weight without letting it crush me. She taught me how to ask for help carrying that weight. She taught me how to live in a world that would eventually take her away from me. And somehow, she succeeded in this endeavor in the few years she had with me here, because she still speaks, not from a hole in the throat or a message board she has to write on with a pencil and erase, but from a habit, from instinct, from the way I choose to be now when no one is watching, how I spend my time, and let go of crime. Stop dreaming of being someone I'm not. My mother always used to say, and now, so do I. Not because I'm repeating her, but because I became what she was trying to raise. I hope, praise her for trying to do so. I often think back on the things my mother used to say, because somehow in those moments, the moments that matter most, she still does too. In spite of everything I do. Just not out loud. And that's enough. If I'm gonna be tough and the son that she raised, I need to know at the end of the day, my mother always used to say, I love you, son. Be good to yourself. Be careful. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. You were my mother, and you will never be forgotten. And to this day, the most important thing that will never wash away that my mother always used to say is, I love you. I love you forever. Forever and a day, until the end of time washes away. And there's nothing left to say. Eventually I'll see you again someday, I pray. Anyway, like I said, I love you. I love you too, Mom. I miss you forever and a day. The memory of you will never wash away. So hey, I didn't even make you pay to hear the things my mother always used to say, but I'll remember forever and a day, because she was the one who showed me the way to be a better man than I am today. Those are just a few of the things my mother always used to say.